When it comes to relocating to a new area, Western Jamaica has a unique method that involves literally moving the entire house. Not just furniture, pets, and personal items. We're not talking about moving mobile homes on wheels. Rather, wooden structures built to remain where they were initially constructed are moved from place to place like luggage. Instead of relocating to rent somewhere new, residents build their own homes on a plot of land, then move the entire structure as the need arises to provide more secure and stable accommodation for their families and belongings. Welcome to the parish of Westmoreland, Jamaica, located on the western side of the island, where moving homes from one location to another is just another day for some, dating back to the 1950s. Many domestic dwellings are made from wood, making them easy to load onto a tractor or flatbed truck for transport. Depending on the size of the house, the building and all furniture inside can be moved at once, or the furniture removed for easier handling and safety. However, not all house relocations go smoothly. Sometimes there can be so much drama, creating an ordeal so dramatic it's not for the faint of heart. The house moving situation can be just another day for some or a new nightmare for others. So why would someone need to pack up the entire house and go? Here are some popular reasons. Land lease expiry. Many times, the land lease simply expires, and the homeowner needs to relocate. Once a new location is arranged, the owner hires a tractor with a flatbed trailer attached, and the entire building is loaded for transport. Sometimes the new location can be just across the road or many miles away. The relocation process can take a few hours or an entire day, depending on challenges like terrain and access to the new spot. Family disputes. When families get into hot water, sometimes the one who invested all the resources into building the house doesn't just pack their bags and go but takes the entire house with them. This is indeed hard to swallow for those left behind. Closer to jobs. In Westmoreland, when the sugarcane industry was very active years ago, many families who worked in the factories or fields would move house from work location to work location. Public transportation to and from work in farming communities wasn't easy or was non-existent, so it was more convenient to literally live closer to the job. Getting a new house spot was easy in those days as land was abundant. Talk about giving the postman a serious headache trying to keep up with you. Environmental problems. Sometimes nature causes issues like flooding, bushfires, or lack of utilities. Social problems can also arise, making it best to move away for a fresh start. Homes seized by the law. Some disputes or penalties end up in court, leading to the home being seized. In these cases, the owner loses possession of the house, but the structure is still confiscated and moved. Now that you have a great understanding of house moving in Western Jamaica, here is a live demonstration of a house on the go. This house is moved on a flatbed truck or wrecker, instead of a tractor with a flatbed trailer. Moving with a tractor is easier to maneuver as the trailer is very low. The house is simply jacked up just enough for the trailer to position under it, after which the house is securely let down on the trailer.
So when the tractor comes, you say them jack up the whole house first?
Jack up the first and they put the black them.
And then reverse underneath it?
And right, and then they put the something underneath.
Okay.
Set up it on the farmer and then
And just drive off right away?
the farmer pull it.
Much different from the truck where you have to haul and pull it and run it down.
Pop up.
So why you get the truck?
Moving with a flatbed can be more complicated, with the potential for structural damage to the house as it needs to be winched onto the flatbed, often causing damage to crucial support structures. Once the house is on the flatbed, there is another issue. The house is higher in the air, much higher than if it were on the tractor. Utility lines and tree branches can collide with the roof and sides of the house due to its height on the flatbed. As the truck moves along the route in a residential area to the new destination, there are frequent stops. Someone has to use a pole to hoist utility wires to avoid contact with the roof of the house, preventing entanglements and disconnections of resident services. On narrow roads, oncoming traffic cannot pass and has to divert as the house is too wide for two vehicles to pass in opposite directions. The driver of the truck needs constant assistance from his side men to spot overhead dangers. The driver is very impatient because he needs to drive slowly and calculate his moves carefully, sometimes smashing the roof of the truck against tree branches instead of taking care to avoid them. Sidemen have to walk at foot speed alongside the truck with long poles to hoist utility lines and push branches out of the way. The truck constantly maneuvers both sides of the main road to avoid tree branches and utility lines from hitting and damaging the roof of the house. The house will also rip down power lines, causing disconnection for residents. In this situation, by the time the house reaches its destination, it is often damaged and will need repairs to its roof and other areas on the sides. Sometimes the process goes smoothly, and sometimes it's a disaster. It was especially dramatic for the family to witness their house getting battered during transport, and there was little they could do about it. From the start, the choice of transport was not ideal, and under the pressure to relocate urgently, they had few options to acquire a tractor with a trailer in time. The driver of the truck was also not very patient with the job at hand and caused structural damage while winching the structure onto the wrecker. A few beams came popping off, and at least one door got busted open as the winch started to drag the structure apart. The truck operator was forced to reassess his hastiness when the family got angry and threatened to sue. By the time the truck was out of the congested areas and on the main road towards its destination, it was evident that the truck driver was hurrying to get the job done. The driver swerved wildly and hit the roof of the house a few times, causing the zinc to tear off. Some furniture in the house was being thrown around left, right, and center. The family got upset and forced the truck to pull over and check on the damages to the house.
Look funny thing funny old stuff. You think funny old stuff one million no. You think funny old stuff 1 million down.
You might have noticed that pedestrians and motorists alike do not pass the excursion in surprise at the sight of a whole house on a truck. Instead, they go about their business as usual. While these relocations are being phased out due to modern housing, more stable land settlements, and the absence of a real incentive to do so, the tradition runs deep. In today's day and age, this option is always available to solve issues and make lives better.
Just a second.
Overall, it was a relief in the end, as the need to relocate was greater than the troubles during transportation. Obviously, there were a lot of challenges and a whole bunch of new problems, such as repairing transportation damages to the roof of the house, fixing broken glass, doors, and windows, and damaged furniture, and getting utilities such as electricity and water reconnected. And yes, the family demanded a discount on the transportation cost after an infuriated owner of the house charged the truck driver for recklessly causing damage to their home. Would you be prepared to move from place to place due to circumstances? Or settle down in a community or area where there is more stability and peace of mind? Thanks for watching.